Hey family, welcome to Love Samantha Lee, the More Than Just Pretty podcast. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite platform, I'm so glad you're here. We keep it real about love, faith, and life. Are you ready? Let's get into it. What's up, family? It's your girl Samantha Lee, and y'all, I am back with another episode. As you can see, we're fully in a new environment. And so I am just grateful to each and every one of you guys who have supported me along this journey. I mean, it's you guys have seen me so much this year. Y'all have seen me through so much this year. And I'm a West Coast kid now. Like, how did it happened out of nowhere? Like, it went from being East Coast to West Coast, and like I'm here. Like, hello. People were asking me in the comments before I get into it, where am I? I'm not telling y'all. Y'all gonna have to use the Blues Clues to figure it out, or somebody gonna see me in a city and be like, "Oh, she's here." Okay, but I have not said where I'm moving. I have said that I've never been here before, and it's on the West Coast. So those two things I've shared. I'm not sharing anything else until the Lord prompts me to do so. So it is between me and Jesus right now, and of course other people that need to know where I'm at, but otherwise than that is between me and the Lord. Okay. But by the time you see this episode, y'all may already know where I'm at. I don't know. I'm not personally sharing it. Okay. But I have moved. We are here. We are kicking. Okay. And it has been an adventure, and I've got to experience God in ways I would have never experienced if I didn't take the leap of faith and moving to this place. I've shared in my past podcast how challenging that was to leave my family, to leave everything I knew. A lot of people, I mean, you may know this about me or not. I'm originally from New Jersey. I was born and pretty much raised in New Jersey. I was there until I was 13. And then from there, I went to Atlanta, and I've been in Georgia for most of my life from that point on. I went to high school, finished middle school, high school, went to UGA, Go Dogs, for my bachelor's and my master's. I briefly had a time in California where I live, but I have not really left Georgia like that. I pretty much have always been in the Atlanta area, like for most of my, significant parts of my life. And so this Atlanta female is in a new place, okay, and they're it's cool because it's like it's just interesting, like just being in this environment. And so I just want to thank each and every one of you guys who has like supported me on this journey, because it's been a journey. It has been a journey. God has taken me on a ride. If anybody ever says that walking with God is boring, you're not walking heavy enough. You're not walking heavy enough, because if you are hearing God, he's going to call you out the boat. He's going to have you face the very things you're afraid of. He's going to make you face those insecurities. He's going to push you into purpose. Baby steps. So he's so good. He didn't have me move right away. There was months and months of really learning to hear from him, and being discipled by other people, and holding myself accountable to wise counsel. Like there was a lot that needed to happen to get me to a place where I am now in another state. And so I don't know where this road leads. I wish I knew. People are asking me every time, Sam, like, what, why, got to get a job here? No, it has nothing to do with a job. It has nothing to do with anybody. I don't know, really know anybody out here for real. I know of people, but I don't when I say know of, I might know at this point, less than 5 people. I know they hear, but I'm not super close to these people. So it's like, it really is like there was no other reason but God. And I think that today we do not see real faith anymore, because it was not uncommon all throughout the Bible for God to call people from their hometown to pursue purpose somewhere else. That was not uncommon. In fact, you see Jesus in the New Testament. A rich man comes up and he says, hey, I followed all the commandments. I've done this, I've done that. And Jesus says, okay, well, sell all your belongings and follow me. And he's like, no, I don't know about that one, my brother. I can't do that. So he goes back to where he comes from. And he basically says it would be hard for somebody who is wealthy to enter the kingdom of heaven, because it requires you to give up something to be a part of this kingdom. And when I tell you something, family, I think that there was a lot of fear in my life about giving things up, because I was afraid of, like, okay, what does God have for me? Because I'm assuming that what I want for me is better than what God wants for me. And that's not true at all. Every step of obedience, I've learned that God is truly a good father, and he has better things in store for you than you do for yourself. He is not out here trying to shortcut you. He's not out here telling you to leave that relationship and he doesn't have a better one in store. He's not telling you to leave that job and he doesn't have a better thing in mind. He's not a God that does inferior. He's a superior being. He knows your purpose. He knows what he purposed you for. And a lot of us, we act like we can't trust God, like God is people, and God is not a person. He's not a mere mortal. He's the creator of the universe. And it's a little disrespectful to allow him to sit in the back seat when he created you. All right. And that's what I've learned in this journey. And I'm going to get into that today because God convicted me. All right. And right now, this episode is called Your Heart Ain't Right. And God was speaking to me when he said, when that was to me. And I'm going to get into why that is today. So anyway, thank you guys for everybody that supports, everybody that has shown up and shown out. Y'all commenting, y'all liking, y'all go to my YouTube lives. You're there, you're present, you show up on my other medias or my other platforms. I just want to thank you. Okay, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I do not take any piece of support, any millisecond of your support lightly. Even if you hating on me, even if you're saying negative things about me, I'm okay with that. Thank you for showing up on my channel. It means a lot to me. And I pray that God blesses you, no matter who you are. So let's get into it. So y'all, this past week was like my first full week, kind of getting to the rhythm of being in a new environment, the new time zone. My eating's been all over the place. I haven't really had a schedule. There's things that are changing even with my own work schedule, with my own world. There's more responsibility in certain areas. There's less responsibility in other areas. So it's been like a lot has been going on. And so I'm gonna keep it 100 real with you. On Sunday, I decided there was a young lady that I ran into in Atlanta. I've talked about this in a prior episode that I believe I saw in my dream. All right. And so she invited me to this church. And y'all, the funny thing about this is that the church, she told me her church, I would love her church. And I'm like, I'm sure I will, whatever. I'm finding a new place. And so I come and it's Sunday and I'm like, I'm going to church. I have to go. It's not even like I have to go to church, but I really like being in church community. It really refuels me. And I'll be honest with you, it's been challenging, being in a new environment, and I'm trusting God for certain things. And sometimes your faith can get weak, and it's great to be around other believers that are walking heavy with God too. And so I wanted to go to church. So she tells me to get to the church early. Right. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. I got it. In my mind, I thought me leaving at the time that I guess in my mind had set to leave was 30 minutes early, but literally it would make me get to the church right on time. So I'm like all over the place that morning. I already knew. God had woke me up that morning, and I told you guys, God still wakes me up in the middle of the night. I still wake up to numbers. And I'm going to also speak about this on another live, but in this with the dreams and things like that, I have a friend of mine that God has literally had us interpreting our dreams for each other. Like her and I, since we've been walking with God, God has opened up the door for us to have dreams. I mean, dreams of dreams. A lot of those dreams have come to pass. A lot of those dreams have come to pass. Some of them we're still, there's still, we know what God is doing in that, but we go back and forth. And I feel like almost like a Joseph thing, where in the beginning of Joseph's journey, I had tons of dreams. I had no idea what they meant. But now, towards the end of Joseph's journey, he was interpreting dreams. That's how he eventually got promoted. He was elevated to second in command under Pharaoh, was interpreting dreams. And I am now in the place of interpreting dreams. And so that's been an experience. I have dreams, I interpret dreams. And so that's been an experience in of itself, like some of the things that God is teaching me. So anyway, dreams. So I go to I don't even know why I brought that up. Like, I don't even know where that came from, but I don't know. So anyway, there's a point to it. So we go, oh yeah, that's the point. So I woke up in the morning and I already felt, I had a sensing, my spirit was already telling me, there's going to be some warfare to get you before you get to church. Like, you already know, like, the enemy is going to come for you because you're going to church. And I knew it. I mean, I knew, but it was like, I guess I don't know if I was as spiritually as ready. Like, God had already told, like, I already knew. I knew opposition was coming. I'm going to church. Okay. And so I wake up, the opposition is oppositioning, because I had set in my mind to leave at a certain time. That time was actually not the time I should have left. I should have left 30 minutes before that. I get there, and y'all, can I tell y'all something about Sam? Something y'all must know about Sam. I don't like driving in cities. Why? Because I don't like parking. I like parking lots. I don't like street parking. That is not your girl's preferred method of parking. Okay? I'm going to keep it real with you. I will avoid a city so I don't have to park. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to keep it real. I won't, in Atlanta, I barely went to Atlanta. I barely did, because I don't like street parking. It gives me anxiety. I don't know. I just can't. Like, even if there's too many people in a Target parking lot, I'm still going to have problems. That's just the truth. It is what it is. That's the truth. So anyway, I'm going to this church and I'm like, oh my goodness, I already know. It's street parking. I already know. I know. Because it would just be just like the enemy. It would be just like the enemy to make this church be street parking. Like, it would just be just like him. Because that would be the one thing that would have me turn my behind and go home. I'm being honest. I'm keeping it 100 with you, okay? So yes, pull up to the church. Church is street parking. And I got there on time, which in this church is late, because it's a growing church in this area. So I'm like, oh Lord. So my daughter knows, like, she's already like, mommy, like, she's trying to, she knows. I hate that she knows it's about me, but at this point, she my buddy. So she already knows, but she gets, okay, mommy, So anyway, an angel of the Lord. So there ends up being a little parking lot for the church. Like, when I say little, I mean little. It might have had 20 spaces. There might be 500 people at this church right now, 300 to 500 people. Okay, like it's people's city at the church. There's a parking lot of 20, maybe 20 cars. Okay, and I'm from Atlanta, right? I'm not from so I'll be dressing up to go to church, and I'm going to continue to do that. Like, I'm not going to stop. Like the Sunday best thing that we do in Atlanta. Like, you gonna see me go to church, I'm gonna be wearing some heels. I now know I might bring a change of shoes, but I'm still gonna be dressing up, because that's where I'm from. It is what I've been raised to do. And so anyway, so I'm wearing heels and doing all the nine. And they look, they're like, who is this girl? Popping up. So anyway, I'm like, where do I park? Like, this is not good. So I get to the parking lot, and an angel of the Lord showed up in the form of a man who was like, it's okay. I'm actually about to leave. Let me just warm up my car. This is the parking lot for the church. No worries. I'm actually leaving. You can have my spot. Just stay right here. Just give me a couple minutes. I'm like, that's fine, sir. But he could tell he's like, I'm leaving a couple. I was like, I got it. I'm not tripping. I just need a minute. I just need a minute. Okay. I'm cool. Street parking just got me a little unnerved. All the people in cars. Okay. And so anyway, he gets out of his parking spot and I pull in and my baby's like, that was so nice. The people here are so nice, mommy. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, baby. Absolutely. That was an angel. That was the Lord sent an angel because God knew. God knew that if I spent 5 more minutes looking for a parking spot, we going home. We going to watch the service online. Okay. That's how serious it is for me. Okay. That's why I was like, my husband needs to drive in the city. I'm good in the suburbs. I'm good driving through a city, but street parking, oh, that's a problem. He gonna have to park it for me. Somebody gonna have to park. I will let somebody drive my car to park it. It's that bad, and I really need to take it to the Lord. I really do. Anyway, so I get there, and this is the thing, family. In Atlanta, I'm telling on myself today. I'm telling on myself. I don't like it, but I'm telling on myself. In Atlanta, because I had already established myself. People knew who I was, things like that, just based on my platform, things like that. I kind of got special treatment. I didn't have to show up early to church. I could show up a little bit before. They would always save my seat. I would always sit in certain places, like things like that. I would get there were certain treatments I would get because whatever, and I'm going into a new environment. None of that's the case. They don't know me from campaign. Okay. So I'm like, going through this process and I'm noticing like there's pride. Like there's a little bit of pride. Like, why do I have to go? Like it, because I've been so accustomed to special treatment, now I'm getting no special treatment. And I'm feeling, well, I mean, again, they were like doing nice things. It wasn't like I know special treatment, like get inside. Like it wasn't nothing like that, but it was like, it wasn't what I was accustomed to. Okay. And God was dealing with me because then I sit down. I didn't make it on time to go to make it into the sanctuary. They had outside seating. I sat outside. They had like a little tent. It was nice though, like a tent. And I sat outside and I'm like, God was dealing with me. Like as I'm sitting there, God was dealing with me. I missed worship. And I realized that there's an issue. There's a problem, a heart problem. Because for me, I haven't had to in years, have to kind of establish myself again somewhere. I mean, I haven't had to do it at all, really, except for when I was in college or grad school or something but I'm now in a new environment, and it was God. The service happened to be about pride, of course. And I sat there and I'm like, who are you? Like, who do you think you are? Like no, who do you think you are, Sam? And immediately I broke down. I cried. I was disgusted with myself. Because I feel like if you meet me, I'm a humble person. I'm down to earth. I'm not like braggadocious or anything like that. But deep down inside, there's pride. There's a little bit of like arrogance. And God had to check that. God had to use this new environment to really say, well, hold on. Everybody in this church is hungry for Jesus. Everybody in this church, if they got here early, they deserve to get there. They deserve the best seats. You got here later. God used the entire experience to expose something in me. That my heart wasn't right. My heart posture was not right. And I had to repent. I had to sit before the Lord and repent. The pastor started speaking about just how people tend to do things for God. And they're like, well, God, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And, why am I going through this? Why am I like with a bit of arrogance? Like, I deserve X, Y, and Z because I'm doing what you're calling me to do. And if I'm being honest with you, family, I think the fact that I've made such bold and big moves, bigger moves I've ever made. I haven't made moves like this before. There was a part of me that had some entitlement. Like, oh, I deserve more because I've given more. The truth of the matter is, what is my life without God? Like, everything I have, He's given me. My body, He's given me. My mind, He's given me. Like, everything I've ever received, everything I've ever gotten, He's given me. The money I have, the platform I have, the way that I look, the health that I have, my family, my friends, my child, everything belongs to Him. I'm not giving Him anything. What can I give Him? I can't give Him land. I can't give that. It belongs to Him. And so sometimes we think we're doing God a favor by being obedient, by walking in discipline, by doing the things that are set before us. Like we no, the gift you have is His presence. That's what family, that's what I had to learn. I heard this man speaking, and he was talking about how Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane was not hurting or sad or afraid to get on the cross, that He was heavily anticipating going on that cross and dying for our sins. What He didn't want, what He was very much dreading was separation from God. That would be the only time in His entire existence that He would be separated from God, because He's carrying the sins of this world. It wasn't about the sacrifice of His life. It was the sacrifice of His presence. He was saying in that moment that I will allow God to turn away from me for something I did not do, to carry the sins of this world and be separated from my Creator, even though I don't deserve it. He was mourning and afraid and unwilling at that moment to be out of alignment with God. He understood the gift of God's presence. And so, family, as I'm being obedient, I'm feeling like, oh, this and that. And God has shown me things. God has shown me what some of His plans. I'm sure it's not all of them, but He's shown me glimpses of the things that He has for me. He's shown me what He's preparing me for. And I heavily anticipate and wait in expectation for the things that God is showing me in this next season of my life. But I have to be honest with you that sometimes when you give things up for God, you feel like He owe you something, and He don't. The fact of the matter is, you have His presence. That, family, when I walk into different environments, because He is with me, I can feel the difference. I can sense the difference. I can sense how I'm being received and how they're receiving me. Like I can sense God's presence with me everywhere I go. That is the gift. It isn't about the materialistic things that when we die, we can't take with us. It's about the fact that we have His presence, that no matter where we are, whether we're on this planet or we're descending or ascending to another world, our God is with us. His presence is the gift. And there was a pride issue. Oh, my walk with God is stronger than it's ever been. I hear God in ways. I've been blessed with giftings I never even fathom I would have. Like I seriously, I mean, literally, I can't believe that I have certain giftings. I can't. It's gifts I don't deserve. I did not earn. And He's showing me new things in this time that still in and of itself means nothing. It's a gift He can take away. And who am I to say, oh, I'm here and I moved across the country, but for you. So what do you, can I be honest with you? Can I keep it real? I'm gonna keep it real. there's a time in my life where I did move. I moved to California. And I didn't want to leave Atlanta. I didn't. And I did it for the relationship I was in. It was the marriage I was in. And I remember going through depression and sadness because I was leaving everything I knew for this person, And I left my job. I left everything I knew because this is where this individual, this is where they thrive. This is where they were. And I struggled. I did. It's the truth. I went through a bout of depression. And I remember just feeling like every time you go through any type of argument or situation, it felt that much worse because I felt like I'd given up so much to be here, right? And it wasn't their fault, like that's what you have to do. But we don't leave and cleave nowadays like we used to. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, it didn't even speak to women about leaving and cleaving. That was expected. A woman was expected to leave her family. The reason why it says men leave and cleave in the Bible because men didn't have to. But the Bible even dictates a man leaving and cleaving to his wife. They create their own union. That is Bible. A man doesn't stay connected to his family, all in his family. No, when he meets his wife, he leaves and creates a family with her. That's Bible. That's what they do. They didn't just stay with a family like that. That was what the Bible had dictated for men to do. Women, it was expected for them to leave and cleave. That's not the situation today. We don't want to leave our families. We don't want to leave our hometowns. And so we are acting like, well, now I got to leave this and that, and maybe making somebody feel bad about the fact that you're doing what you were called to do, right? And so in this situation, I'm dealing with God like my husband, for real. I'm going through this process with my husband, who is my God. God is my husband, my daddy, my best friend. God is all of them. All right. So he's dealing with me about this heart posture, like, oh, no, ma'am. No. I called you out here, which means I have a purpose for you here. You were to stay in Atlanta, you would miss purpose. You were to stay in Atlanta, you would miss the things that I have for you to do here. You're not doing me a favor by being obedient. You're doing yourself a favor by being obedient. Yes, you unlock certain aspects of God by being obedient. You access different levels of favor by being obedient to God, but that is not where you put that over his head. No. Who are we? Who are we? We're doing ourselves a favor by being obedient to the God who created us, because he knows better than we could ever know what our intended purpose is on this planet. And so as I'm going through this church situation, and as I'm dealing with myself in going to church and like I'm sitting out there, I start crying, I start worshiping. I'm like, I don't care if I'm in the sanctuary. I don't care if I'm in the lobby. I don't care where I'm at. I'm going to worship God. I'm going to worship God no matter where I'm at, because it doesn't matter where I'm at in this building. It doesn't matter if I'm in proximity of the pastor. What it matters is my God is in every aspect of this. Wherever we seek him, he will find us. He says, seek ye first the kingdom of God. All these things will be added. He also says, if you knock, the door will be answered. He will answer that door. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will open. He will answer us no matter where we are. So if I'm outside, so some of us in my past, there's people that be like, oh, well, I'm not going to be in church. If I'm not in the sanctuary, then I'm not going to be in no overflow. Like, forget that. No, I don't care where I'm at. I was going to make it a point right then and there. God, remove this spirit of pride. If you got me in the street, I'm going to worship you. If you got me on somebody whatever, balcony. I'm going to worship you. I don't care where I'm at. It doesn't matter what I am, whatever I am, you made, whatever I become, you did it. I don't deserve better than that. I don't deserve better than the next. We're all hungry for Jesus. And I'm in an environment now that is unchurched. It's not a church environment. It's not a church place, right? And so the people that are there, they're hungry, right? Because in Atlanta, everybody go to church. Everybody. We all involved going to church on Sunday. Here, no. So if you're going to church, you have an intention. You seeking Jesus. You trying to find him. Right? And I love that because it's genuine. You finding people that are genuinely seeking the heart of God. They're coming as they are. It's not all pretentious. It's not all dressed up and we got to wear the bags and we got to wear this and that. No, we're coming in whatever we have and we're seeking the Lord and we are finding him. And so I was like, you know what? I felt the presence of the Lord in that place. I felt the presence of the Lord in that tent. But God had to do something in me. Because I want you guys to understand something about God. It's not so much of, oh, I'm doing this for him. No, it's an honor and a privilege to have a relationship enough with God to hear him, to be obedient. Because you being obedient, it does something for you. It doesn't do anything for him. It furthers the kingdom of heaven. God doesn't need us. We need him. And so when I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know what? Oh, you know what? I don't like street covering. I don't like this. Well, guess what? I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn. It's just like God to make me face the one thing I don't like. I'm gonna learn. No, I'm gonna show up. Like even I'm going tonight. I'm going. Why? Because I'm saying to myself, you know what, God, you give me the grace to do it. If I don't have the grace before it, I'm gonna have the grace to do it now. God, like I'm trying to say this, and I want to say this part because this is what I really, really sensed in my spirit. When the pastor was speaking, he was talking about how it's the heart posture. It's the heart that matters to God. It's not so much the outward action. Like some of us, it doesn't matter. Like if you ask somebody, he gave an example of doing the dishes. So you ask somebody to do the dishes and they do the dishes, you don't care what they say. If the dishes are done, we cool. God cares about the grumbling and the complaining and the heart posture you have when you're being obedient to him. And what I had to be confronted with is that my heart wasn't right. That yeah, I'm being obedient, but I'm kicking and screaming and I got things to say on the way. That's not the heart posture that God is looking for me. That it's an honor and a privilege that I have a connection with God, that I can hear him and that he can hear me and I see him moving in my life. And for me to arrogantly think that I deserve better or I deserve this, that, and the third because of being obedient. My comparison is not the next person. My comparison is Jesus. And there's no sacrifice I've made that comes close to what he's done. There's nothing I've ever given up that even remotely compares to what he's done on that cross for my sins. If I compare myself to the next person, okay. But comparison is a thief of joy. The pastor says this, I'm going to end it with that. He said that when we're talking about what kind of God we get, the Pharisees came in and they were self-righteous. So God would come in, and the God that they received was a God that was bringing up all the things that they didn't get right because they're self-righteous. They thinking they better than other people because they're better. They're living externally better than other people. They're following all these rules and all the things. And so they received a God of judgment because they were coming in with a self-righteous, prideful spirit. But the people that came in with humility, like, woe is me. I'm a wreck. I don't deserve this. I didn't earn this. The God that they received was grace and mercy. Because he gives grace to the humble. God has always required humility. And I had to be checked. That even on my best day, my good deeds are as filthy rags before the Lord. That yes, I've made sacrifices, but I've only given him what belongs to him. It's an honor that he still saw fit to use me in the way that he's using me now and the way he will use me in the future. I'm not doing him a favor. I'm doing myself a favor because I'm giving my life purpose by being obedient to his voice. I'm not doing him a favor. I'm doing me a favor. I'm giving my life meaning by surrendering to the God that gave it meaning. And so I wanted to share that with you guys because it was a lesson. It was a place where God checked me, man. He really did. And I know there's some of us that maybe we're on different sides. Some of us is like, woe is me, humble heart posture. And some of us have some self-righteousness. We think we're better than other people. We're not. Who's your comparison? Your comparison is not your neighbor, your friend. It's Jesus. That's your comparison. And when we're comparing ourselves to the wrong people, oh, my homegirl's still doing whatever she's doing, and this person is still doing it. My homeboy, he's still out here at the club every night. I mean, yeah, your comparison isn't your friend. Yeah, otherwise, y'all both gonna be lost together. Your comparison is Jesus. And therefore, we are striving daily. We don't strive from a place of deficit. We strive from a place of righteousness. God has given us righteousness undeservingly. And we strive to be righteous because he's given us righteousness. We're not trying to become righteous with our acts. We are coming from a place of righteousness. Undeservingly. Love is what motivates me to do what God has called me to do. It's not fear. It's love. It's desiring his presence, not wanting to be out of alignment. That's my biggest fear. I don't want to be out of alignment. I don't want to be anywhere he's not. I just don't. That's what I've really come to understand. I don't want to be anywhere he's not. That is the greatest fear. Once you understand that, family, you unlock a whole new world. That I can leave anything, go anywhere, take any risk. As long as God is with me. As long as I know he's the one who's leading me. As long as I know he's the one who's beside me, I can take the risk. I can move in faith because he's calling me out of the boat, because he is walking beside me. Doesn't matter what I face, he's with me. When you start having that mentality, family, there's so much God can do in and through your life. Honestly. Anyway, family, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I will be back next week, as you know, for another podcast episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear more from you guys. And again, thank you guys for riding with me on this journey. I love y'all, and I will see you guys soon. Have a good night. And that's a wrap. If this episode spoke to you, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube or leave a review wherever you're listening. Let's keep the convo going. Connect with me on all socials. Remember, real beauty starts with you being true to yourself. I love you, family, and I'll see you soon.